How's it going, everybody? It's Royalty Crypto here. Dogecoin and meme coins are going absolutely parabolic as I speak. So today I wanted to talk about why I believe this is taking place, whether or not I think Dogecoin could get to as high as $1 this year, and I'll go over some interesting catalysts to be paying attention to for the next couple of days to weeks. But before I get into all that, guys, most of you watching this video have yet to subscribe to my channel, so do me a favor and hit that like and subscribe button. Your guys' support is what keeps me coming back each and every day, making more crypto content for you guys. But without further ado, let's talk about Dogecoin. As you guys can see, Dogecoin is having a fantastic day as we are up nearly 10% in the past 24 hours. We are currently trading at 15 cents and have a market cap of $25 billion. For the past couple months, people have been saying that Dogecoin and the overall meme coin market was dead and that you should sell all of your coins and just move on with your life. But guys, in my opinion, there is nothing further from the truth. When you take a look at the 24-hour trading volume, we are currently sitting at 1.6 billion just for Dogecoin alone. Now ask yourself this: how could a coin like Dogecoin possibly be dead if people have traded $1.6 billion worth of it in just the past 24 hours? That doesn't make any sense now, does it, guys? What actually has taken place is we have seen a lot of negative price action in meme coins because they are the most volatile section of crypto. So whenever we see fear and uncertainty in the overall crypto market, these coins end up getting hit the hardest. But the inverse of that is also true. Whenever we have greed and clarity return to the overall markets, meme coins end up outperforming just about every category in crypto. And I don't expect that to be any different this time around. So do I believe that Dogecoin could potentially get to the $1 mark this year? People have been calling for a $1 Dogecoin for a very long time, basically since 2020 when it first started to go absolutely parabolic. And guys, I think that it is actually very possible that we could see a $1 Dogecoin this year. My reasoning for that is because I fully expect crypto to have the golden bull run this year that everybody was expecting to happen last year. The reason for that is because we are now entering the expansion phase on the business cycle for the first time since 2021. Now, a lot of people, including myself, that expected this bull run to take place last year also expected the business cycle to happen in 2025. But that was not the case, as Jerome Powell did not start quantitative easing and did not cut rates nearly as much as people anticipated, but he did start quantitative easing essentially in December of 2025. So it does take time for that money to trickle its way into the altcoin market. So just because quantitative easing has essentially started doesn't mean that the bull run would be into full effect just yet. However, guys, I do believe that later on in this year or potentially in the next couple of months, the bull run will be into full effect because liquidity will finally be returning to markets. Trump is also expected to announce his replacement Fed chair sometime this month, and I do believe that once he does announce whichever dovish candidate he decides to pick, it will be a fresh catalyst for the overall altcoin markets, and that could also be the fuel that we need to actually be in an altcoin bull run. So guys, in my opinion, now is not the time to lose hope. In fact, now might be the last time that you can accumulate at a discount. But of course, that is not financial advice. But guys, when you take a look at the Dogecoin chart, you can see that we are basically sitting at yearly lows right now. I think that dollar cost averaging into Dogecoin at 15 cents is a much better move than buying when the coin gets hot and surpasses about 25 to 30 cents like we've seen at other points this year. Also, when you take a look at the crypto fear and greed index, we have recovered quite a bit in the past couple of weeks. Back in November of 2025, we were as low as a 10 on this chart, which is well into extreme fear. Since then, we have recovered all the way up to a 48 in neutral, and now we are at a 41. So we have yet to see very much of a recovery in altcoins until really today. So in my opinion, I do think that now is still a good time to be accumulating. However, guys, if this rally does end up continuing and the crypto fear and greed index ends up going to around a 55 or a 60, I will be personally holding my coins and no longer buying, and potentially even taking profits on some of my very good buys back in November during the peak fear in the overall sentiment. So definitely don't lose hope on meme coins just yet. This could end up being the local bottom, but we'll just have to see what ends up happening with some of these catalysts. The first one that I wanted to talk about is how the Supreme Court is making their final decision on Trump's tariffs tariffs tomorrow. And there is currently a 70% chance, according to betting markets, that his tariffs will be deemed illegal. Now, in my opinion, this is very bearish, but the overall market could end up liking this because it does somewhat add more clarity to the overall economy. A lot of people weren't sure how to feel about the tariffs last year, and I do believe that that is another reason why we did see some weakness in the market. The market loves clarity, and if we no longer need to worry about constant tariffs being implemented on countries, it could actually be a good thing in terms of price action, but we'll just have to see how the market ends up responding to this tomorrow. Also, guys, a more bullish catalyst is on Thursday. We do have a possibility of seeing the Clarity Act approved for crypto. People have been waiting for clear regulatory framework for crypto for almost a decade at this point, and the fact that this could finally be coming this week is very bullish in my opinion, especially since the overall administration is very pro-crypto, so you know that their framework will also be pro-crypto. So yeah, guys, definitely keep your eyes on these events because they will cause a lot of volatility, most likely to the up and downside for the next couple of days. Also, earlier today, we did have the CPI inflation reading come out, and it was lower than expected. As you can see, the inflation came in at 2.6%, and it was expected to be at 2.7%. So not only are we down month over month, but we are also cooler than expected, and in my opinion, this is very bullish for risk on assets. It is very important that inflation stays under control for the next couple of months because we want rates to be lowered as much as possible, and if we don't need to worry about inflation spiking, the Fed can focus on the labor market and hopefully aggressively cut rates going into 2027. Alright, and then the last thing that I wanted to talk about is just a bit of a bull case for the overall crypto market, and that is the fact that Iran's currency has officially collapsed to $0 against the US dollar. A lot of people that live in the United States and other first world countries don't necessarily think of inflation as that big of a deal, but guys, you have to think of the rest of the world and how their currency is basically collapsing. I mean, there is plenty of countries, not just Iran, that are experiencing this level of inflation with their currency to the point that people are just throwing their money away in the street. In my opinion, I do believe that a lot of these people that live in third world countries will slowly but surely, and I know a lot of people already have, but start saving their hard-earned money in crypto. I mean, if you think about it, that is one of the most bullish factors for Bitcoin because Bitcoin does not have unlimited supply and it will not inflate to zero like these currencies. So for these people, it just makes so much more sense to buy crypto with their money because although it can be volatile, at least you know that it has a potential to not only make you money, but most likely not inflate to zero. So I just wanted to talk about that because I found it very interesting. Alright guys, and then the last thing I wanted to talk about in this video is the Bitcoin liquidation heat map. For the past couple of days, I did talk about how I thought it was very likely that we were either going to liquidate the shorts or the longs on the 3-day chart, and we ended up liquidating all of the short-term traders in the past couple of days as the price of Bitcoin sharply increased from 90,000 this morning all the way up to 96,000 at its peak at the time of making this video. This is a great sign in my opinion, and hopefully we can continue to liquidate these short traders because when you zoom out on the 3-month chart, you can see that we have so many short traders open above us compared to long traders below us. And if we do continue this rally to the upside, we could end up causing a short squeeze and going back up to all-time highs for Bitcoin in a matter of just a couple of weeks. So if you are on the sideline and if you think that you'll be able to time the bottom perfectly, you could end up missing this entire move. So don't get complacent. I would say that the best strategy right now, and of course this is not financial advice, is to be dollar cost averaging while you still can because nothing is certain in markets, regardless of the fact that everybody on social media is telling you that it is a certainty that Bitcoin is going to continue to the downside. But alright guys, that's going to do it for this video. I hope that you all had a fantastic day. It's so nice to see some bullish price action return to the overall market, and hopefully we can continue this rally for the rest of the week and really the rest of the year. But alright guys, I'll talk to you tomorrow. Peace.